Can we go through who's here since I came in late? I'm sorry.
We will do that with roll call.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have access to your agenda on board docs?
Yeah, I just opened the agenda here now.
Okay.
So you ready for a call to order?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I would like to call the November 5th, 2020 Lodging Tax Advisory Commission electronic meeting to order. Could you please take the roll?
Yes. Byron Trope, Chair.
Present.
Steve Owens.
Here.
Kristen Taylor.
Here.
And myself, City Clerk. We do have a quorum. The only person not here is the currently vacant position. So I will share my screen and we can continue.
I'm also here, Lisa.
Did I not say?
No, but it's okay.
Oh, you know why? Because
Just for the official record, I'm here.
I had already.
She didn't
checked
say your
you
name,
off
so you're
on my
not here.
list. So
Too
sorry.
late.
Oh,
You can go. She didn't
I
say your name.
I don't need you to call my name. It's okay. I didn't know if I wasn't visible on the other end, so don't worry.
no, you are. In fact, I had already marked your name as here. Okay, we're ready. Sorry, Byron.
No problem. I can see the agenda, but I'm wondering if you can drive this. So let's see. We called to order. On the consent agenda, we have to approve the agenda from the November 5th meeting, approve minutes from a year ago, November 7th, 2019, and approve minutes from the August 18, 2020 special meeting. Is there anyone willing to make such a motion?
I can move the minutes.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it looks like the consent agenda is approved. Next up, we have reports. There's a lodging tax fund report. Let's see. Which one do you want to work from, Lisa?
The summary is simpler than if questions, we could go into the detail.
All right. Have you got that displayed for them? I've got it here.
I do.
All right. So we had was a beginning balance of almost $24,000. Estimated 2020 revenues of around almost 11,000, and then expenses of approximately $7,700. Leaves us a expected or estimated fund closing balance of $26,897.09. And there's also a reserve policy. We, in general, for accounting on the budget, must reserve at least 20%, which would be $5,300 and change. So available funds for next year, $21,517.67. Any questions about the budget and the funding profile and what we have available? No questions? All right. So this is for information. I guess, Lisa, on the account detail, I don't have that open yet. I'm opening it now. We did allocate money from our last meeting for the winter for the holiday lights. I think that was $6,000 or $7,000, right?
Yes, and that has not yet been spent, but it is in my estimated.
Right. So it's in your hot hands to prepare and spend, I think.
I included it at the bottom of the detail expenditure and noted it's not yet expended.
I just did see that. Does anybody have any questions about the budget report fund? This will go into the the city budget here in the current cycle of budget review for the 2021 budget. Any questions?
And I
Hearing
can
none, I'm gonna-
clarify that that actually has been spent. The items have been purchased, it just has not yet been paid, so it doesn't show on the accounting report.
Okay. Moving on, there's a request for proposals. So there was, could you bring up this RFP, Lisa, so everybody can see that? So we've got a, let's see, a request from Sylvia Reichendaler from,
Sorry.
Do you have
No,
that
that's not
document
the
up?
request. That is our advertisement for
Okay.
request for proposals.
Okay.
This is the affidavit
So-
of application of that request.
So what we're doing is requesting or soliciting proposals from the community for expenditure of the funds in the budget. You guys can see the ad. I guess that due date has passed already, the 27th of October. Did we get any solicitations back or requests back?
Yes, there are 3 in your packet.
Okay. I did not, oh, that's the next section, right?
Yes.
Okay. You guys ready to move on to that or any questions, comments? I'm doing my best. This is tough virtually in the dark. So I'm going to move on to regular agenda funding requests. So we have the first of these is a request for $6,000 from Utah Marketing. I'm bringing that up on my screen now. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that as well.
Yes.
Okay, I'm still waiting for it to load. And it's taking a while. Okay, here we go. So the organization's name is C-Source. They're digital media marketing from Matthew Godfrey, the president, in Ogden, Utah. So this looks like a tourism-related service. If awarded, my organization will enter into an agreement with the city to provide those services. Let's see, we got a scope of work, and city may advance 50% of the award prior to the event, and they have to expend funds within a year. So this is a $6,000 request to provide digital media marketing. Lisa, do you want to give any color to this?
I don't know a whole lot about it. I just received a question about what amount of funds we had received in 2018, and then later that day I received this request. So I've had no contact with them other than receiving the request and their proposal for marketing. I'm assuming they do similar marketing as the company that Visit Walla Walla used to use.
Mm-hmm.
And something like what CM Bell, who is a local company, similar. So
let me go back to the agenda real quick. So this is purely for information. We're not being asked to act on this. How would you guys like to proceed with this? I mean, we can read it individually. I can go over it and, summarize it in modest detail. How would you like to cover this one?
Well, what are we looking at right now?
So this is an application to use $6,000 of lodging tax funds.
Oh, this is okay. So still the application. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is just an application. We solicited because we have a fund reserve here. Our responsibility is to go out and seek people to use those funds to promote the city. And one of these, we're going to look at 3 of these today. One of these is from this Ogden, Utah company that does some media marketing, and they're asking us to approve, or at least in this case today, only to review the application. Lisa, I assume our role would be to make a recommendation to council.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're looking at all three of them. And then the next section, you guys, after reviewing all three of them, then you can make decisions. There's action requested for decisions on whether you're going to approve each one. So there'll basically be three different motions: approval or denial, and if approved, how much funding on each separate application. But I want you to be able to see all three of them before you make a determination.
Right.
So I'm just going to give you guys some of the highlights here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Looking at their website, they're not actually a marketing firm. They're a big data firm. So they would collect information from GPS of people visiting here and then give the city, or I don't know if they would give the city the data, or the city would have to buy the data from the organization to then use. I'm not entirely clear on that mechanism. But they would not necessarily market College Place as a location. It looks like they're going to passively collect information from people visiting here. So then the city could use or purchase, I'm not clear on that, the information to then inform their marketing choices.
I'll go over that here briefly, but that's a good overview of what they do. You're exactly right. They're a data and advertising firm. So what they do is they take cell phone GPS data, demographic data, psychographic, and consumer spending data to identify people who have visited your community in the past and invite them back, right? You can see that's on page 2. They can also do digital ads to people who have visited communities similar to ours. And what they're proposing is they're going to geoframe the community to capture data for past and current visitors, and then place digital ads to them using their MAIDS program, which is Mobile Advertiser IDs. They're recommending 3 campaigns per year at $2,000 each, hopefully to drive people to the community. And they claim they have received lodging tax before. So Lisa, do you know how much they got?
They have received lodging tax, but not from our entity.
Okay, so they
That
have.
was my question. They haven't received College Place tax before.
No, they have not.
In reality, is this the city of College Place applying for $6,000 to pay these guys, or this company applying for $6,000?
The city of College Place did not reach out to them.
Yeah. So what happened when we put the solicitation out? Request for proposals. Vendors then come to us and say, for $6,000, you too can have this service. And in this case, that would be 3 basically ad campaigns that they would push to mobile phones of people either visiting the community, have visited in the past, or have visited similar communities. So that's the goal here.
Yeah.
That's what they're requesting. So they clearly have some experience in this. Does anybody would like more detail on this?
Well, is the $6,000? If we're just going to give them $6,000, has the agreement been reached on how it will be spent? Has that detail been worked out?
It's the 2,000 for 3 different campaigns adds up to the 6,000.
Okay.
And what they're saying is, they're expecting to reach, if you go down to page 3 of this, it gives you an idea how many people they're anticipating their service would reach. So it's roughly 3,500 people overall, and people who travel more than 50 miles out of state. How many would come out of state, out of country? How many would be overnight lodging? That sort of thing. So, basically what you're getting for $6,000 is 3 $2,000 targeted mobile ad campaigns promoting College Place. Okay. Is there more information you guys would like?
No, I just think that Sharice's question is a good one. Are there any other expenses beyond the $6,000 that will be incurred in terms of handing over the data or whatever, or then using the data?
And in this case, I'm assuming you get a report for this, but they're not necessarily giving us a bunch of data. What they're doing is they're pushing out targeted ads to people who I'm going to just say would be susceptible to come to the area, either through history, they're here now, or they've gone to similar places. And they're going to reach, less than 4,000 of those people and give them a, push type ad onto their phone. And for that, they're going to do it 3 times a year. And for that, they want $6,000. Is that a fair assessment, Lisa?
To my understanding, yes.
Okay. What I'd like to do is go on to the other one. Move on to the next, Fort Walla Walla and the other one. Understand the 3 of these at some level, and then we can discuss in more detail whether we want to support any of these. At this stage, this is an external application, $6,000, 3 mobile phone ad type pushes at a targeted audience. And I don't think we know a whole lot more than that. You guys ready to move on for the next one?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at what Fort Walla Walla would like. Okay. So I'm looking at their proposal now, the application for lodging tax funds. Lisa, do you have that up for everybody?
Yes, I do.
Or do you want to? Okay, so they're asking for $3,500 as a contribution to a nonprofit to offset or defray their expenses to operate the facility. So this sounds like they're asking for $3,500 to contribute to their budget, because we're right next door to them, to help them operate this facility. It's going to reimburse costs for their organization for tourism-related services according to the scope of work. And they have 1 year to do that. So they're open 362 days a year. They see visitors from all 50 states, 35 countries. They have 50,000 artifacts in settlement, pioneer settlement of 16 buildings, guided, self-guided tours. And they're saying that visitors to the museum spend on average a little over $300 in the community based on a tourism Walla Walla study. For every dollar the museum makes from a tourist, they spend 30 more in our community. And Fort Walla Walla is clearly hurting because of COVID. Boy, I do not have it. Good, I got my glasses. The rest of this is kind of small. They have received funding before, I think from us too, right, Lisa? I seem to remember that from last year. Do you know?
Proposal significantly different in any way than years past?
Not significantly, no. They asked for a little bit more this year. I think they got $2,000 last year.
And it's $3,500 this time, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the implication is fair to make that, the community has suffered due to COVID. Their needs are a little greater to preserve the organization. They're asking their constituents to contribute a little bit more. And, we and Walla Walla would be their constituents primarily, I think. You guys basically understand they're asking for $3,500 to contribute to OPEX for their organization. They're right next door to College Place. There's a demonstrated history where that facility being there benefits our community. And they're saying their revenues include, their admission and store revenues. They have some members, donations, business support, grants and endowments. They have reduced staff to reduce expenses, but they're about $100,000 in the red so far this year. They're looking for some of the PPP loans to convert to a grant. They're still going to be about 30,000 short. So they're trying to control their expenses and they need some help. Any questions on that? Now, if you look at the reach, they're saying about 15,750 a year. Half of those come from outside 50 miles away. About a third of them come from out of state, out of country. And roughly a third pay for overnight lodging. So I guess the way I'd categorize it, if we don't support this organization, there's potential they won't be around. And that's one less opportunity for people visiting the community to have items of interest to see. So we've got to decide at some point later today, do we want to stick with historical spend or accommodate their current spend, knowing the financial position. You guys have any questions on that? If it's okay with you guys, we're going to move on to the Light Up the Avenue application, and then we'll come back in the funding recommendation and discuss all three of these. Okay? Is that all right with everybody?
Yep.
Okay. So in this case, Lisa, I think you came to us in August with this asking for on the order of $10,000. And what the city would do is take $10,000 of lodging tax revenue to create an event, a winter event, modeled after some things we've seen around the country where we light up the avenue. If you guys recall from last year, the parade we did in College Place, I thought was highly successful, very well attended. There's a good chance it may not happen this year just because of the current situation. Have we canceled it yet, Lisa? Do you know? The parade?
We have canceled the Light Up Parade. We are doing the Light Up the Avenue, and the announcements will be coming out soon. We haven't got the map figured out, but we will be doing a parade with our police, fire, and public works vehicles going throughout the neighborhoods in town, kind of like what was done for the National Night Out.
Right.
And we'll do our initial light up. We've received those decorations. So we've got snowflakes, lit up snowflakes for the poles and lights for the municipal campus. And then we'll do the tree out front, of course, and then the fireworks. But as far as the event of the community light up parade and the community gathering and all of that, that portion has been canceled.
Okay, so I kind of want to summarize what I perceive this thing to be, and if you don't agree, Lisa, please amend as appropriate. We as a city, as we continue to grow, are looking aggressively to build events that make this a more attractive community for people to visit and spend their money at. We had a very successful parade last year, and the idea is this Light Up the Avenue would work in conjunction with that in future years, post-COVID. So not only is there a parade, but we festively decorated the downtown area to help make that more than just the parade, to draw people to that area to see the display. And the expectation is every year we would continue to invest in this, and over time, the two events combine to make a College Place an attractive winter destination for people to come see. Is that fair, Lisa?
That is fair. We figured at this time, we don't know in 2021 what events will be allowed to happen or what the plan is going to be able to be for that. But we do know that we can invest again, and we intend to invest again in additional lighting infrastructure for this event. So that is where we would like to use lodging tax funds for again. Hopefully, we'll be able to use city funds and have the full Winterfest event. But if not, we'll have more of a lighted decoration area for people to drive through themselves in their own vehicles, and at least see something.
And I think this was at the advisory panel's recommendation back in August, that instead of doing some advertising, which the original proposal had, we would remove the advertising primarily, certainly for this year and possibly next year, and really buy the decorations, the infrastructure that will give us a head start. So rather than sharing those funds between promotion and hardware, this year we're buying exclusively hardware and likely to continue into 2021, right?
Correct.
So probably not going to get a return on our investment this year, but the expectation is long-term, this has potential to be an attractive event in the community and certainly an opportunity to create some buzz to get people into our community when they come here in the winter for things. We have given money to this in the past for the Freedom Festival, so the city has been I'll say a consumer of lodging tax revenues in the past. This particular year, we're looking at spending money on this new thing because the other things have been canceled. You guys have any more questions? I don't know how much you guys remember of this from a couple months ago. We're gonna certainly expect on the order of 5,000 people a year over that winter period. And we do get good out of state and out of area attendance. Questions on this one? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to move to the funding recommendations portion. And so we have three things before. So I guess what I'd ask you guys to do now is rank these 1 to 3, 1 being the highest priority that you see, 3 being the lowest, how you would like to deal with these. So just get a priority scheme first. We have C-Source, who would be doing a push-type advertising mobile campaign, 3 $2,000 efforts during the year. We have monies to support Fort Walla Walla Museum, and then an investment in a new event in College Place in conjunction with winter festivities to attract tourism. Don't all go at once.
I'd actually like to move to decline the funding for C-Source.
Any discussion on that, or anybody second that?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of declining C-Source's request for funding, say aye.
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 All opposed? I hear none. Therefore, the motion passes. We are declining C-Source's request for funding.
While I'm on a roll, I'll also approve the other two at their requested funding levels.
Second.
Wow, and I hear a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Can you tell it's been a
So-
long day on Zoom? Sorry, y'all.
No. Hey, I'm a teacher. I spend all day on it. And,
Me too.
I'm thankful to go quick. Thank you for making that. So just to review, we're declining C-Source. We're approving $3,500 for Fort Walla Walla and $10,000 to the city to procure materials, hardware for the light up the avenue. Lisa, is there anything else we need to do with that agenda?
Adjourn the meeting.
Okay. Any other discussion, any other commentary? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I don't think we need a second for that, right?
No, if there's no objection, you can just adjourn.
If there are no objections, I would like to adjourn our meeting.
Thank you, everybody. We really
Thank you
appreciate
guys
it.
for your patience.
Thanks.
All right, see y'all later. Bye.
Good night.